Hey, what's up, everyone? This is another episode of Showtime Goones with your co-host Fernie, and today we have a special co-host guest who is.
My name's Eileen. I have been Fernando's friend for quite a while, and a little background about myself: I'm a female civil engineer. Civil engineering being highly male-dominated, and so today I'm really excited to interview the guest, whose name is Yasmin. She's a female police officer.
And Berto, you're missing out today, so too bad that you can't be here. All right, so today we have my good friend Yasmin, and she's gonna tell us all about being a cop. And but before we do that, just want to let everybody know a little history. So I know you since we were like 8 years old, probably. I don't know how old we were.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm dating us, probably like 1997, 98. And we used to play soccer, and it was a co-ed team, but the only girl in the team was you. So I guess you go figure how co-ed that was.
Nothing's.
And not only that, I think it was a co-ed league, and I think you were the only girl in the league. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. And then we, I think as we all grew up, I think we luckily been able to keep up with like social media, and that's how I got a hold of you to be part of this interview today. So we'll ask a few questions and just be candid, be honest, and I think everybody's gonna really like it once we're through with it. So Eileen, why don't you take it away and ask the first question?
Hi, nice to meet you. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe a little bit about your education or just hobbies, a day in your life?
Well, let's see. A little bit about myself. It's what he's already said. Yeah. I've been a police officer, deputy sheriff for a little over 7 years. I think during my childhood, I did move around a lot. That's why, me and Fernando, we're kind of in and out with communicating and stuff like that, around a lot. Education wise, I did take a little bit of community college. I'm actually still pursuing my bachelor's. Obviously, I'm just focused in my career, just with law enforcement. I focused more on that and having a crazy schedule and stuff. Then I just was let me just make time and go back to school and stuff. So allowed it a little bit more now that I'm to the schedule and stuff. So
That's cool.
It's not easy working and going to school. So kudos to you.
It really, I was I just need to get it done because the older that we get, I don't have any kids right now, so it's the perfect time, because I am gonna eventually work towards having a family and stuff, and then they're the main priority at the end of the day, so I'm not gonna have time for what I want. So might as well get it done.
So I guess the next question that we want to ask you is, so when did you figure out you wanted to be a cop? Because I think that's kind of a pretty interesting question.
Yeah, I think it's a crazy question because I'm pretty sure you knew me from being younger. I was all into music. Still am, don't get me wrong, still am. But I guess I want to say I feel like my childhood wasn't the easiest. Obviously that goes into more personal stuff, and I think just seeing how some of the people that we knew got into drugs and or gangs, some people are they're gone, So I think I always wanted to I was more interested on the investigative part, which was being a crime scene investigator, like detective work, that's like my thing. It's always been, but the more that I dug into how that, you have to start from the bottom. So that was the police. So you have to do your time out, patrol in the streets, and then you promote. That's considered a promotion to do any detective work. So that's my goal, is become a detective. This year, first year testing, obviously I feel like I've gained enough experience to finally like take that next step. I want to be a detective, like whether it's gangs and all that stuff. Like I that's my forte.
Yeah, Law and Order, right? Dun, dun, dun. But being a cop was not my thing. Like I was like, what? Especially, like I said, I used to go to gigs and just, have fun. Yeah.
So my interaction wasn't the best, It was always like you're running from them or you're getting in trouble or something. So I think I took all of that and just tried to experience it more for myself, and I learned to love it. Like it's not always, most the first time they meet a cop or have any cop interaction, it's always negative, right? It's because you're getting a ticket, it's something bad. But made it my own to like have a positive impact on people, just because that's the kind of interaction I would have wanted to get when I was younger. So I whether in the streets or detective work, I'm still having fun.
Yeah, so you decided you wanted to, when you were little, you're like, I want to be an investigator. And then, so as you grew older and then you kind of realized that this could be a career, how did you go forward and find out what you needed to do to get started with that, the dream?
So automatically we all schooling, go to college, do all that stuff. So I started taking classes, community college, because like I said, I had to pay my way through school. So my experience was very difficult, like getting into the field. It was very long, and there was lots of tears and hard work, like pain, no joke. And then I started, I feel like, I think that goes for any job though, like you want to be, like how can you sell, right? So it's a huge competition out there. And obviously it's made it a little bit easier because I am a female. Females are very in high demand being in law enforcement. But, I try not to compare myself, or use that excuse, like, oh, I'm a female. Like, it's like, oh, no, you're with the guys. Like,
yeah. Well,
but
if you think about it, we kind of prepared you for this job.
Their childhood, prepared me for what I do. Like, when you say, I always use that, I'm smart. I tell people all the time, and you could tell, from people, cops that have street smart, that have experienced things, and then people who have learned it in the books, it's very different. But, so, I explore program did that for a while when I was younger, but, I moved around a lot, so it never really stuck. But a lot of, community service, whether it's for church or whatever, because that kind of helps you out in hiring process. And then I actually paid my way to the academy, so I didn't wait to get hired on. I just took the initiative. You know what, I'm just gonna try it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna pay my way through the academy, because normally you get sponsored, you get hired on, and the police department or the department pays your way into the academy. But I actually paid, and then I got hired after I graduated. So my experience is totally different from most of the people's experience becoming a police officer. But like I said, it was many years, especially being a female, where I had to physically prepare myself. It's a lot of working out, a lot of, you're one-on-one with the guys. So you have to be able to do those push-ups or up. It took me years to physically feel like I was prepared to go through all that.
I can do 3 push-ups, so you're good.
Yeah. I can do 0.
No joke. I was always into sports and stuff. So running was easy for me, the running part, but all that other stuff, push-ups and like jumping over walls and all that stuff. I was like, oh shit, like that's so hard. Like, so I prepared myself. I want to say for like a solid year, like just a lot of working out and making sure that I was going to prepare, because the physical part of an academy
is that how long it took? About a year to go through academy training, or is it longer than that?
For me, a basic academy is 6 months.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, that's like your typical full-time academy, which is the route that most people go, which is the route that I suggest, because you're just gonna eat, breathe, like that's it, like law enforcement. So those months are like, that's all you have time for. But since I paid my way through it, I was still working full-time. So I don't want to say it was a part-time academy, because it didn't feel like that. It was still going like 5 days a week. It was just not like a full-time academy would be. So my 10 months of working full-time and then going to the academy.
Wow.
Cool. So then you graduated and you finally got a job. And so did you realize, or did you find out? So what's like the range for like the salaries? Like what did you expect the salaries to be like? Is it a lot of money? Is it not really a lot of money for like the demand? Or
I think it's obviously it's a good paycheck for the education that I have, I want to say, obviously, but it's I don't know if you can, all the stuff that we have to put up with, I feel like you can't put a price on that.
Yeah.
Like, especially now, it's gotten clearer and crazier. Mm-hmm. It's a decent, like, I think our probably from like 60,000 to 80, maybe high 80,000. That's like your typical range a year on paper. So that's not including all the, taxes and deductions. Like our take home is nothing.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Like,
sure.
Oh, it's pennies. But
and then if you think about it, you can be involved in some scenario where it's like some shootout or whatever, and not come back home, right? So there's a danger involved with it, or the uncertainty. Yeah.
It's always the beginning, and now even more so, because I feel like we just have a big target on our back. So it's you always have behind your head that something can go wrong, and either gonna get really hurt or not come home. But I mean, I tend to be like the positive one. Like if you talk to a lot of people, I'm like, I do like my job. It's cheesy or whatever to say, but I've always been focused. Like I want to make a difference. Like I just, even if it's just like one person, like it's still worth it for me. But it's definitely not worth the paycheck. It's not.
Yeah, you're kind of touching on it. The stereotype of a cop. You kind of mentioned the idea of like the first thing you think of sometimes is getting a ticket and negativity. Could you explain what a realistic day in the life is for a cop? What do you go through? Maybe even some positive things that you really love out of a typical day.
Because we've seen a lot of Hollywood movies.
Well, I've done.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all seen them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I started in the jails. Like being a deputy sheriff, you do time in the jail. So that was obviously different interactions, because you're dealing with criminals the entire 12-hour shifts. We have 12 hours. But now that I'm on patrol, I've had like almost 3 years out on patrol. So I did like 4 in the jail, and then like I've been on patrol for about 3. You're driving the entire time, but what people don't see is that honestly a lot of our work is paperwork. I'm not an English major, it's crazy. Reports it's like 80% of my work is most of my day is obviously, we don't want to say that it's like the same thing over and over, but just taking call per call. It tends to get very busy. When we're not like taking calls, I'm out there like being proactive, whether, there is a lot of crime out there. So, I mean, I'm still like going to be that crime fighter, find the drugs, find the guns, prevent stuff, I guess, from becoming a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Traffic is not my thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right. Like pulling people over for speeding and all that stuff, like no, unless you're a complete like asshole on the street. Like, I don't bother with that stuff just because like I said, we just have so much other work that's like like I don't deal with.
So obviously, being a cop, it's not your regular 9-to-5 job, Monday to Friday. You have to work really odd hours or like on holidays. Does it come with like seniority?
Yes. So, seniority plays a good part on it, but it still doesn't. I mean, I want to say I probably work the majority of holidays. It all depends on what days, because we get set schedules, whether it's 3 months or 5 months out. So if it falls in that, then you're going to be working it. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, holidays are coming up. It doesn't work like that. We, as far as our hours go, it's always 12-hour shifts, and then we work 4 days on, we'll have 3 days off, or we'll work the 3 days and we'll have 4 days off. So, but our work days, there's no life. Like on my work days, I don't have a life. It's literally like eat, sleep, if I could squeeze in a workout, and then repeat, like work. That's it. I don't have time for anything else because, our scheduled shift is 12, but we still need the drive time to get ready. And then sometimes we don't even get off on time. Like we have so much paperwork backed up that we have to stay over. So our 12-hour shift turns into like 16-hour day. Or our schedules are crazy. When I work graves, I hate life. Like, oh my God, just zombie. Like you don't sleep like a normal person. Yeah. Even on my days off, I will sleep like I'm on graves. Like I'll be up during the night and then I'll sleep during the day because it's so hard to adjust. And then even on our off days, like today I was at court. Like today's supposed to be my off day, but you have to be on standby like when your cases go through and you have court. So you have to be open to like just always like adjusting. Like it literally, your life kind of revolves around work sometimes.
Yeah.
I have a question. I personally work in a male-dominated field, and so a lot of times, especially, I do find it very interesting to talk to other women in the same situation. What is the male to female ratio like, and what do you feel like as a woman in a male-dominated field?
Well, the ratio in our field is like, I remember really like we're like gold. Like it.
Are unicorn?
Yeah, like females are just always like in high demand, and especially if you're bilingual, which that's me. But just females in general, they're in high demand to be law enforcement officers. And I mean, just to take for example my academy class, it was 59, 60, and it was 3 females. So that's just an example of how it is. I think, my city, the city that I patrol, we're pretty good like with females, but normally like there'll be like departments, I think they have like maybe 2 or 3 females. Like it's crazy.
So when you walk in,
being a female in a male dominant field.
Yes. So when you walk in, are all the guys like, "Oh, a girl"? Whoa! Like, do they get pretty dumbed down because they see a girl like that's? Like...
I'm sure everyone's heard the stereotypes about like guy cops, and it's. Well, but always like fight to like make females just look that much more powerful and like just. That we can go out there and, do it all. But it's definitely something that you really have to constantly be working towards, because you want to be taken serious too. You want a guy to be okay. Oh, I don't mind having her as my partner. Like she fucking,
Yeah.
So it's hard. But I feel like if it's something that you really, really want and you take pride on being a strong female, that it's going to come naturally, and you're okay with putting all that extra work. Because I do feel like a female has to put a lot more extra work than a male does in the field, just so they take you seriously. So and you're, I guess, kind of like admired by your peers. Like, you want your peers to just be like, yeah, she's a female, but fuck, man, she gets down, or she handles her business. It doesn't matter that, you're a female.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a constant struggle. But I think I've always been, I swear, since I was young, it was like, oh yeah, okay, like I could, go with the boys. Like, I felt like I was like that.
Well, you always let.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you always let your work speak for itself, and then everything else falls in place, or should fall in place. Yeah. So talking about this subject of being a female, whenever you're out in the field, do the civilians take, like, or the criminals, do they act differently around you because you're a female?
I think that's something that I feel like it's something that I have to live with, that it's just always going to happen. And it at the same time, it's going to end up on your people skills. Like I usually tend to be able to read a person, like, oh, is this like, the freaking gangster from the block, or is this just your regular, like, dad, mom kind of, like, you have to be able to know how to be able to adjust to who you're talking to. And I feel like maybe men, or even, I guess, even female civilians, or criminals, whatever, they do treat females a little bit different, because maybe they might take the guy a little bit more serious. And for me, I feel like I have to sometimes work a little bit more, like be more stern, and be able to plant my foot down, like, no, like, hey, no fucking around kind of thing, like, as far as like them wanting to, like, pick fights with you, I feel like it doesn't even matter, especially nowadays. Like, I feel like they don't care that you're a female. Like, if they're gonna want to beat your ass,
Yeah.
Times though, like, you have your old school people that they, oh, you're a female, so I'm still gonna be respectful even though you're a cop, because, oh, you respect my mommy, my tia, and all that shit, like, whatever. But yeah, it's different. It is.
Do you feel like you approach anything differently than your male counterparts because maybe the situation is high risk, or do you feel like your training is the great equalizer and it doesn't matter?
I think, I feel like, training, it's always going to be there because we do get all the same training, right? For me, at least, I've always taken it upon myself to get more training. Like, my training never stops. Like, whether it's physical training or, like, just, like, training for, like, scenarios and all that stuff. Well, regardless of what it is, it's a constant thing. But I do feel like I approach things a little bit more cautious, I guess, because I'm a little girl, that too. But I'm like a short female. So yeah, I feel like distance, like I take a little bit more into consideration a lot of the things that probably my male tall ass partner wouldn't.
The 6 foot guy.
Like, that's something that we always feel like it's always there, like, behind my head, safety every time, regardless, because it doesn't matter. Like, you could have, mom, like, just a normal person that you would never think would do something. You'd be amazed the stuff that anyone is capable. Like, it's crazy.
I feel you on the 5 foot. I'm 5 myself.
Struggle.
Yeah. And so I guess moving on to the next question is, so back when we were in school, we used to make fun of the the DARE program, right? Say no to drugs, right? And we would have this lady, Deputy Perry, would come to our school and tell us all about not doing drugs and why it's like the worst thing that you should do. And looking back at it, I think it was a nice thing that they did. Are you involved in any community service like that?
So I think I'm more of one of those that like I said, like earlier, like, oh, I'm cheesy, I want to make a difference. Like, that's me. Like, I'm that cheesy person. Super involved. Like right now, like for the holidays, we do a lot of community events, like shop with a cop. So we interact with kids and like we take them out shopping, like on a shopping spree. Right now, obviously with COVID is a little bit different, but this year I think we're helping out a family and like we're giving them a Christmas tree and like gifts and stuff. And this is like stuff that I personally like get involved with. Like it's just on my own time. I'm a volunteer with the Big Sister, Big Brother program. Oh, so nice. I mentor like kids, you know, to try to guide them in the right path. And then just with the department itself, I actually have volunteered for several like women warrior events, whereas females, we make this event where we invite females who are interested in probably pursuing a career in law enforcement. They come out, we show them like, hey, like this is what you do in the academy, or like just answer any questions that they have so we could guide them, or, you know, just pretty much give them some guidance in the right direction if it's something that they really want. Just charity events. I play sports for the department as charity events to like donate money for either law enforcement officers that are, you know, down or just need money. Or so I think I'm pretty community involved. My fiance tells me that all the time, like, oh, you're so involved. It's something I said that while I could do it, I want to be able to do it.
That's a great segue into the last question we have, which is, if you were to give any advice to young ladies that are aspiring to go into the academy and become a police officer or detective, what kind of advice or what kind of things would you tell them?
Probably, obviously it all depends on like what age range they started to want this as, you know, something that they see themselves seeing along the road. But definitely have like a huge like this backbone. Like, just know that you're gonna have to really fight to get in there, and just be very highly motivated, work out, stay on your fitness. Obviously as you get older, it kind of slows down a bit, but like before you get something that, man, you have to eat and breathe like fitness for sure. And just try to, you know, there's explorer programs, like I said, it depends on the age range, you know, glimpse on you know, seeing, you know, the police officers, what they're doing and what your department or city, just get involved with the community, volunteer, and your schooling. Honestly, schooling, if I was blessed with like being able to have money for schooling, it's something that I would have definitely have done, but you know, I didn't have that I don't know, in my path. I did a bit different, but I always tell people, like definitely just get, you know, any kind of degree. Like I feel like being in law enforcement, they don't even care what kind of degree you have one, that it just looks better. But there's just, you know, and if you know somebody in law enforcement, try to use them as a mentor, like that way, because there is a lot of, I personally never had a mentor, like getting into, so that's why it's been more difficult. Everything was like I found out I had to dig, I had to go out and venture out to find these answers, when, you know, it'd be nice if, you know, you grew up with a mentor, like guiding, helping you out through the process. That way you're well prepared. So like if they do know anybody, just reach out. or talk to someone, or we're pretty open. Like, if you wanted to ask cops something, like, and you could literally just talk to them. And
that's good.
I mean,
yeah.
All right, so our next segment is we'll be telling you jokes and puns and pickup lines, and you'll tell us whether it's a good or a bad pun or joke, or you can just shake your head if it's no good. I think I have a feeling a lot of them are not going to be any good. So.
Okay, you go first, Bernie.
Okay, so what do you call a female police officer playing the guitar? You call him a sheriff? I don't know. I give this a thumbs down. Yeah.
What is that?
Like a riff, like a guitar riff?
I
don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you write these?
I just look them up online. I'm not original.
Or did you find them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Eileen, pick the next one.
All right. Why did the police officer smell so bad? And guess?
No guess.
He was on duties. No guess, we're just gonna roll right into it. Okay.
Yeah. That's a roll all right, so I'll take the next one. A rookie police officer was asked what he would do if he had to arrest his mom. And the response was, I'll call for backup. I guess the mom is a strong lady.
That one's funny because you need a backup for that chancla.
Yeah.
All right. Why did the thief wear blue gloves? Because he didn't want to get caught red-handed.
Oh, God.
Really? But
yeah. All right, Bernie, your turn.
All right, I'll take the next one. Why did the officer ticket the ghost? And the answer is, it's because the ghost didn't have a haunting license. Oh, God. We'll try better next time for sure.
Yeah, just make fun of us in donuts and like.
Oh, we're getting there. All right, Eileen, take the next one.
The next one, I'm gonna skip the next one because I don't even get it. But I'm gonna go to the cop pickup lines.
Okay.
And I'm curious if anyone has ever told any of these to you. So if they have, let us know. If being sexy was a crime, you'd be guilty as charged. You've heard that one.
Okay.
And then
yeah, I'll take the next one. So I guess you're a police officer and you would use this as a pickup line on someone else. So you would say, do you know how fast you were going when you were falling from heaven?
like a speeding ticket?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. I'm ready to enforce the law of attraction.
Or how about this one?
I've never heard that one before.
No, that one's kind of nice, but this one's great. I like
cute.
this one. This is my favorite. Like, you go up to somebody and you're like, I'm writing you a ticket because you got fine written all over you.
I mean, I've heard it. I don't
You
know.
heard that one?
Okay, good. I'm glad.
This one I think everyone's heard. Is that a gun in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? That one's That's classic. And then you do the last one.
Okay, so you go up to a good-looking cop and you say, hey there, good-looking. Did I tell you that I live next to a Dunkin' Donuts? And that sparks a conversation. And I think that should be...
Oh, so it's like starter, like a pickup starter line?
Yeah. And that's all we got. No more torture for you. I think that's enough torture.
Yeah. You're like, stop. Now, has anyone ever done, like, said any of these to you while you were on duty? Really?
Yeah. It's yeah.
The balls on people.
Well, well, we just, I guess that's the end of our segment for pickup lines and all that great stuff. So we'll go ahead and close this out, and we want to thank you for being our guest today. And Eileen, we want to thank you for being our guest co-host. We miss Berto, but you were good. You were a lot better than Berto, so.
I was okay.
Yeah.
No. But thank you. Yeah, thank you. I found everything you said really interesting, and I liked the advice you gave the girls and anyone looking for, what to do.
And I guess.
Well, no.
And if anybody that is watching this on YouTube has questions, we actually read through the comments, so write a question in the comment section, and we'll try to answer it. We'll pass it along, and then we'll get some response and put it in there for you, for whoever needs the advice. And while you're there, you could also press the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell, so that you can keep following this show and listen to great interviews like this one.
Don't forget to subscribe to Showtime Goones on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the handle @Showtime Goones.
Yeah, we put great content on social media, so everybody go and follow us there. And like we always finish every episode, we always say, and don't forget, if you're not with us, you're against us, and we're perfectly okay with that. So until next time, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Yeah.